The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, for the first time, we have a look at the debris that the failed SpaceX rocket mission left scattered in Bahamian waters and along the coastline of Ragged Island. We also ask much needed questions about the safety of this material. That's right, take a close look. This is a piece of the debris. In fact, it was like hundreds of pounds, I believe. We'll get more details on that, but that was discovered and retrieved from the area of Ragged Island. We'll hear more about this tonight. Also tonight, the exclusive Rosewood brand of hotels is expanding to Exuma. Find out what's planned for the private island getaway. And later tonight, is the government with the newly amended Defense Bill 2025 looking to pad the Royal Bahamas Defense Force with retired officers? Well, former Prime Minister Hubert Minnis thinks so. We take a look at the government's reasoning tonight. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. It's been about 2 weeks since a SpaceX rocket exploded in Bahamian territory, dropping debris in Bahamian waters mainly. Since then, there's been a great deal of controversy over the safety of the material of the rocket, the impact to the environment, and the possible dangers to our oceans, a key component of our food supply. Last week, Senator Ruben Raming raised concerns regarding the debris that was found in Bahamian waters. Raming insists that the government is not taking the matter seriously enough and is leaving the country in more danger than it realizes. Well, just how much danger is it? What is the government leaving out? Is the Bahamian people vulnerable to environmental impacts on land or sea? And is there real benefit for the local economy, as has been stated? Well, we're going to get to the bottom of that and answer all those questions, including some of the concerns raised by the senator. Joining me this evening is aerospace engineer Dr. James Murray and Dr. Rihanna Neely from the Ministry of Environmental Health. Now, good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you both here.
Good evening. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
I kind of held this up. Dr. Rihanna, Dr. Neely, you were in charge of this, and in fact, you're in possession of it at the Ministry of Environmental Health. We'll talk about that in a moment, exactly what it is, the material. Is it damaging our oceans and our snapper fish and grouper? We want to know all that. We want to ask, though, you heard me quote the senator a moment ago, is there significant danger allowing SpaceX and the rocket to travel through Bahamian airspace and even land? In Exuma, for example, this certainly, because information is limited and we don't know much, as you can imagine, imaginations and talk, and it's running wild. And so certainly if you both can step in, perhaps you, Dr. Murray, initially can answer that about the safety of what took place. We just saw pieces just going at high speeds, high level of speeds through our airspace. And then, of course, hearing that the debris landed, and we were like, what? What else now? And so please let us understand what's happening, and should we be very, very fearful of what took place a couple of weeks ago?
Well, I think firstly we need to make the distinction between the operations that SpaceX are doing. Those involving the Falcon 9 system, or the Falcon 9 rocket that's launching out of Cape Canaveral, is a commercially operational, highly reliable rocket that's flown more than 400 times. And that first landing that occurred in Bahamian waters on the 18th of February, that's more than a month ago now, was the result of a highly reliable operation where there's been more than 400 landings of this booster. And so before those even came to Bahamian waters, there was a lot of these landings out in the Atlantic Ocean and even in the Pacific Ocean for the SpaceX Falcon 9 operations. So that's one team, that's one operation. All of the activity that's happening now with Starship, where we saw the debris break up, That is a completely different operation coming out of Texas. That vehicle is still not fully operational, it's still not fully qualified. These are test flights. And of course, the SpaceX team dealing with that is different, but they're still in a test flight stage.
We hear you, and we know that you're the expert here because we'll find out more about what your experience and your background is. In fact, you're very active in this, I'd say, arena, industry. But I wanna say to you, test flights or not, do the Bahamian people have a reason to be concerned about environmental impact, about destruction to our very vulnerable ecosystem and food supply chain?
Well, I need to say that even though it's a test flight, these test flights are not done without a certain degree of oversight or a certain degree of care and attention being paid to these operations. And of course, if there are anomalies, they are been looked at very carefully, and the consequences of those and the contingencies put in place to mitigate those have been pretty well studied and very well prepared for. So you know, what we are seeing is something that did go wrong, but even though it did go wrong, it was restricted to a certain part of the really low population part of the Bahamas. Although there was debris falling in the Bahamas, it was a very lightweight, very inconsequential. Most of that debris should have fallen out into the Atlantic, probably north of Puerto Rico.
And that's where it fell?
That's where it fell.
Okay, now, of course, I'm holding up, again, I'm going to hold this up, and Dr. Neely has more, and Dr. Murray has other pieces beside him. You could just hold it up right here. But this then, see, the concern is, are we already saying this flying at such high speeds through our airspace and all that, but it's now, it broke up, disintegrated. It came into Bahamian waters on our coastline. I know you're saying low population, but I want to know then, anything emitted from this here, this piece of material, anything at all, the fuel and all that stuff on the rocket and all the rest of it, does it pose a danger to this having to be fished out of the ocean or from the shoreline? Does it pose some sort of health risk then? That's what people are wondering.
Well, by design, this is a highly inert material. It forms part of the heat shield that goes on the belly of the Starship. It is designed to resist thousands of degrees of temperature. This is the temperature when the Starship re-enters back into the Earth's atmosphere. Now, of course, they had an anomaly and these things broke off. They fell down like confetti down into some of the Bahamian waters in the southern Bahamas. But it is a highly engineered technical ceramic fiber. It's like a fiberglass. A little bit more dense, but it's a pretty light material.
So fiberglass, for example, materials that boats are made out of?
That is correct.
And so I understand a portion of this is also natural, like from the sand that makes up this piece of material.
Well, when we talk about the ceramic, what I really mean is that it's silica. That's silica that you find in sand. Okay, there's a borosilicate. That's the stuff that you find in certain types of glass. Okay, so these are highly inert materials by design because they have to withstand thousands of degrees, as they're passing through the Earth's atmosphere.
So Dr. Murray and Dr. Neely, nothing was leaking, nothing was emitting, nothing in the ocean that we got to be sort of skeptical about the next piece of fish we eat, or the vulnerable ecosystems that many environmentalists kind of jumped in immediately and talked about that are, oh my God, this is at risk, this is a serious issue.
So even for the fuels, you're talking about things being emitted into the environment. So the Starship is fueled by liquefied oxygen as well as methane. And upon re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere, and when it was burning, all of that would have burnt off. And so none of that would have entered into the Bahamian airspace or even into the Bahamian marine environment. So there was none of that we had to collect. Essentially, what we collected were the pieces that you have in your hand, and I think Dr. Murray explained quite a bit of what that was already. And so these came in as floating pieces in with the tides. Some of them were tangled up in the seaweed, and we just retrieved them. And SpaceX was advised that they should take up all of the debris with them, and the debris is not even in our landfills in the Bahamas. They left the country, and what is left here after SpaceX left last week They're being held in storage until they are shipped back to the United States.
So we know, we reported, we didn't see any images. Thank God, for the first time again, we are actually speaking with the people who were there on scene and part of this intricate process. They came, they cleaned up, they left.
That is correct.
Now, Dr. Neely, you were kind of sort of front line with this. The debris was mainly found in waters off of Ragged Island and on the coastline there.
Yes. So we
Mm-hmm.
found so far about 400 pounds of debris, which is the last stock take that we have. Like I said, there is still some debris in waiting for shipment outside of the country, but the majority of that debris, most of those heat shields, have left the country.
Okay. Now, again, 400 pounds of this here, broken up just like this, and sizes like this.
Yes. So some, that is a whole piece.
Yeah.
And then there are some that have broken up even more, and all of those were collected, bagged, and shipped.
Are we certain that we got them all, or what?
Well, we are certain that we got the majority of them. There may be small pieces out there, and so if you see them, you can remove them. You touched and you felt it, and there's nothing.
There's nothing I should fear.
Yes.
I did ask that before we came on, by the way. I'm like, should I be afraid of touching this? But no. But Dr. Murray, let's kind of give an idea about you, because you don't just speak because you went on Google and pull these things up and figure you're going to try sound smart. You have been you are Bahamian, you are from Eleuthera, but you work extensively in Europe, and you also have yourself, you are in this industry, present front and center, where you are creating yourself robotics to go into space, and you've also worked on rocket engines that have been launched, yes?
Yes, well, just to clarify, like a large majority of Bahamians, I was born at Princess Margaret Hospital. I've been raised in Nassau, went to Xavier's, went to St. John's College, and then at the time COB, which is now the University of the Bahamas, before heading off to England to do aerospace engineering. But I did do a year in Tarpon Bay Primary School, that's where I learned algebra. My mathematical career started in Tarpon Bay.
A great foundation.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's nothing like a Tarpon Bay education.
I know, right?
All right, but I've always been interested in space. I've always been interested in aviation, and I went to do aerospace engineering, and I ended up working in Europe on rocket engines. I've designed and built rocket engines, big professional rocket engines, as part of the European launch vehicle Ariane. As a part of me in those rockets, and I've even created
and successfully launched.
Successfully launched.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you are also, it hasn't stopped there. You continue to be very active. In fact, you're presently, besides coming here and meeting with from aviation authorities and Defense Force and Dr. Neely and her team and many other government agencies since this happened, you are presently working on robotics to launch to Mars?
To launch to the moon and to launch to Mars. These are artificially intelligent industrial robotics. I have a company in Pasadena, just north of Los Angeles in the United States. And for the past 8 years, we've been building robots that are planned to go to other worlds and use the resources there and pave the way for the astronauts and the colonists that will eventually get there.
Dr. Murray, let's talk about, a lot has been said as well, like, listen, Bahamians, don't fear the unknown. How about we, like the unknown, like Star Trek, remember that? Mm-hmm. Let's embrace this. And truly, Dr. Murray, as somebody who is an industry insider, you have worked for years on this, you are doing your own sort of space projects as well. What is the benefit for the Bahamas, besides perhaps from time to time seeing some debris from ships, rocket ships and all that? What's the benefit, potential benefit, or the real benefit for us?
Well, I think as an island archipelago, we are in a prime location, even an amazing location, with respect to two of the big launch sites that are currently being developed in the United States for the future, the 21st century spaceflight. Us as humanity going out into our solar system and eventually the cosmos. And so we're kind of downrange of Cape Canaveral for all the Florida launches, and we're downrange of Boca Chica in Texas, which is the big private SpaceX launch site, into which billions of dollars are being currently invested. And there are thousands of people working there. And so I think being downrange gives us an important participation in these space objects that are going to be flying over us, but also to engage with these companies and bring engineering, and particularly aerospace engineering, into the Bahamas. Because I think we're in that prime location to take advantage of this.
So it's the engaging that's important, how we move forward with this opportunity that's sort of brand new from the United States vantage point that we can take advantage of. You were saying that how we engage, how we go and negotiate will be exactly how we benefit.
Well, I'm looking at it beyond just the tourism point of view in terms of watching these amazing launches, spectacular as they may seem, and they'll probably get less spectacular over time as they become mundane. But I'm looking at it from a personal perspective in that I had to leave the Bahamas to pursue my dreams in aerospace engineering, to participate in space flight, to develop rockets. I eventually hope, many of us, we may, retire on the moon, for example. But in the meantime, there is an opportunity for engineers, Bahamian engineers, to not leave their country to be able to do such fantastical things that are the future of humanity.
Tell us about your work in Europe.
Well, in Europe, I had my own rocket company. It was called Booster. We were actually doing a form of space tourism, which was suborbital flight. So you would, with 10 colleagues, you would get in a rocket ship, and you would do a little roller coaster ride up into space that would last about 10 minutes. Well, that was supposed to open the door to a more democratic access to space, so you didn't have to be a millionaire or a billionaire to do that. We wanted to put everybody who could afford it into space, and therefore give them a new environment into which to tinker and to discover and to invent. And I think that's going to happen over the next decade or two, any company, any part of the general public that wants to go and experience that will be given that opportunity. I
know as you've been here, you've been meeting with air traffic controllers, aviation, all the rest of it. For the Bahamian people too, because another concern raised was, listen, what about this happening in the air with aircraft? Speak to that.
Well, just first and foremost, I'm here by myself. I'm not affiliated to SpaceX. I'm not affiliated to the Bahamian government. I actually came down from Los Angeles about 2 weeks ago to help my dad out with a couple of things. My dad's 82, and he's widowed, and it's the son's job to come and help their parents when they can. And so I came down, in terms of vacation, and I was here at the time of March 6th when you had the Starship 8 anomaly. And coming with the wealth of background in aerospace, in rockets, in rocket engines, in space flight and operations, I decided, well, me as a Bahamian, I want to give back, I want to get involved to make sure that my country is protected, and it's important to me. And that's why I'm here on the show as well, okay, giving a little bit back, explaining things, answering questions from my perspective in terms of how I see it.
Yeah, no, I know that you've had several meetings with key agencies, and that's very important. And again, just to know that when a spaceship is launched, the airspace is safe in terms of aircraft, spaceships.
So what is important to say is that these launches are not just haphazardly done. They are exceptionally well planned. There are a lot of contingencies put in place. The Federal Aviation Administration in the United States is very aware of this by the minute, by the second, in terms of what's happening. They are giving advisories to air traffic control in real time. And if there's an anomaly, for example, like this, they have what's called a debris response area, where the aircraft and the pilots and the operations are already informed well in advance of these flights on what could happen, and they're ready to receive instructions should they need to hold for a moment or divert. And the holding and the diversions is nothing new, okay? We do that when we have thunderstorms coming through.
Yes.
Okay, so it's just the same type of process, but now applied not only just to natural weather, but also space objects.
Thank you, Dr. Murray. And Dr. Neely, I'll give you an opportunity for a final word to the Bahamian public in terms of assuring them, or just the fact that how thorough you were in helping to clean the shoreline of Ragged Island, as well as the waters as best as possible of the debris from that rocket.
So, yes, thanks again, Shanique. So the DEPP, as well as government regulators, were involved very much from the start. So we had the mishap, I remember very clearly, on a Thursday evening. My phone started ringing about 6:50 in the evening hours, And we had meetings straight into essentially the next morning, and we were on the ground the following day. And we were on the ground for the days following to make sure that we were collecting everything that we could see, everything that was possibly out there. And then we did even more deeper assessments to see if we could locate that elusive engine, which we are now beginning to get reports that it's probably not in Bahamian waters. But these are things that have not yet been confirmed. So the DEPP, as well as the other government regulators, we are resolute in our responsibility to the Bahamian people to ensure that our environment is kept safe, and that we are able to continue to use the environment and these beach areas in the ways that we have become accustomed to. And so we will not slack in our riding on that, and Bahamians can be assured that we will continue to do our jobs.
Thank you for the wonderful assurance this evening. You have really sort of bring about a sense of ease, because there were questions just nagging and lingering upward to right now. And I hope that you all got many of your questions answered this evening. I thank you very much, Dr. Murray, and also thank you, Dr. Neely, for joining me here to talk about that SpaceX voyage, and also to show us some of that debris that was collected, and to talk about the safety of it all. And according to the experts, no, these things are very, very strategic, very thought out, very well planned, and also the material used are not harmful, particularly once they reach the Earth's surface. And so thank you both very much. This is Beyond the Headlines. We're going to take a break and come back with much more right after this.
Rejuvenate, refresh, treat yourself. Immerse yourself in total comfort. Pamper yourself. After all, you're worth it. Relax. Rid yourself of all life's stresses. At Baja Retreat Anti-Aging Spa, you will find everything you need to enhance your body and spirit. Call today at 323-6711 and begin your journey to serenity at Baja Retreat Anti-Aging Spa.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation?
You mean the Ministry of Tourism?
No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, boy?
Oh, yeah.
Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do?
What does do?
Hey, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Comfort Suites Paradise Island is the best kept secret in the Bahamas. Located directly next door to the Atlantis Resort, you'll receive all the privileges of an Atlantis guest with all the benefits of a Comfort Suite stay. Enjoy everything Atlantis has to offer, including Aquaventure Water Park, plus all the amenities of Comfort Suites. Free Wi-Fi, free breakfast daily, and kids stay, play, and eat free. Visit ComfortSuitesPI.com.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Who are the boss for dancer? International events and production. Alive, Bahamas Air, Everybody Wins Live, and Field of Vibes Bahamas Weekend presents
the Evolution Concert on Saturday, March 29th at Clifford Park, featuring Vibes Cartel and Friends.
Bahamas, Nassau, where is this Saturday the 29th of March?
It's one of the biggest events to hit the shores of Nassau, Bahamas.
Get ready for Addy the Teacher, the Dancehall King, aka the World Boss, Vibes Cartel.
Real bad man, no muggle in a shot.
Log into our official airline Bahamas Air for travel specials. It gets better. We're also giving away a brand new Cybertruck.
And up to $50,000 in cash and prizes at the concert. Compliments of Everybody Wins Live.
Log into our website, feelthevibesweekend.com.
For tickets, tables, skyboxes, and more info.
Visit Ticketflare or email intlevents242@gmail.com.
WhatsApp or call 1242-808-2369.
Remember, Cartel, I got it.
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
This segment of Beyond the Headlines is brought to you by EV Motors. Drive the future with brand new 2024 electric vehicles. EV Motors, powering your journey.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. The exclusive Rosewood hotel brand is expanding its presence to Exuma. This time, the luxury brand is teaming up with the Miami-based Integra Group. The goal with the private island resort location is to bring an elevated approach to experiential travel. We're happy to get into this segment and hear more about the Rosewood Exuma. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, CEO of the Integra Group, Felipe McLean. Hello to you, Felipe. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Happy to be here.
It's good to have you here. There's great anticipation for Rosewood Exuma. I know a lot's going on already, some of it, some misinformation that you want to clear up, but we'll get to that in a moment. For the majority of people who are hearing about this project in Exuma, the Rosewood, for the first time, let's get started. Now, you are creating something, Felipe, described as an experiential travel experience. How will that look on this private island in the Exuma Keys?
Sure. So what we're doing is something very special. It's transformational. It's something that has not been done before. We're bringing one of the best brands in the world to Exuma. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a low-density project with only 33 keys and 40 residences for our clients. It's on a 122-acre island in the which is called East Samson Key. And this is going to be, a transformational project. This is a project that is going to care about the environment, is going to care about the community. And we've been working with the local community for the last 4 years. And we have gotten tremendous support. Everybody's excited in the Exuma Keys, and they see a big future. I think that what we're doing is very special. It's it's a project which is the right fit for the location, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, certainly, just based on what's already been put out there, there's a lot on top that will benefit the residents of Exuma. But let's just talk first about some things that you were very careful to do right out the gate. And that is environmental impact studies that were done by local professional environmentalists. Let's talk about how the care you took to ensure that this project will not disturb the very vulnerable, much protected ecosystem and environmental, and the wonderful environmental features that make up Exuma.
Sure. So this project, this project started 4 years ago, right? Our first visit to the island when we decided to pursue this journey was with Braun. Braun is one of the best environmental consultants in the Bahamas, which we trust, and we've been working since then. They have been along the entire journey with us, and they have done an incredible job working very closely with DEP. We are going through the environmental impact assessment right now, and we're just waiting for the certificate of environmental clearance. And we've been making sure that we follow all the guidelines to the teeth and beyond. Something that I wanted to mention is that when you bring a brand like Rosewood, you have to go beyond what is required. These brands are famous for taking care of the environment, for making sure that the right procedures are taking place, and that's the reason that they have won multiple awards, right? So every development has an environmental impact, but we're making sure that with the right consultants and with the right plan, we're sure that we're gonna have a responsible project.
Well, certainly, we all are well aware of the way Rosewood presents itself. We see the Rosewood here in Nassau, so we can only imagine what this exclusive, wonderful tropical sort of flair to Rosewood would look like in the Exuma Keys. Another area that you're paying close attention to is safety and staff well-being. Talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're putting a lot of investment into what I call the heart of the house, which is where the staff quarters are going to be, and all the basically that's going to end up being a small town within the island. We're going to be able to house 150 employees there. They're going to have facilities, entertainment, a church, a little market, restaurants, etc. The only way that you can attract the best talent is if you give them the right infrastructure and the right staff quarters. So we're making sure that we are doing it right. I believe that is going to be the best heart of the house in the Caribbean for sure. I haven't seen something like that. And as I said before, we're doing it not only because we want to do it, but also because Rosewood commands the highest standards on all angles. Highest standards for staff facilities, highest standards for the environment, highest standards for quality on the construction. So you can be assured that this project is going to be very special and is going to take care of all these items that I just mentioned.
Well, that sounds pretty amazing. I mean, we are used to hearing of resorts building like communities for the staff and never anything on this level that you just described. So that's pretty awesome. You hope to create, though, a total of 400 jobs, 250 during the construction phase, 150, as you said, sustainable permanent jobs for Bahamians. But what do you foresee the spin-off opportunities being for the immediate area and keys of Exuma?
Well, I'm already seeing how the local businesses are growing. I'm already seeing how local restaurants are increasing their capacity. We've been going there, and I spend almost every week in the Exuma Keys. I've been very close with the community, and I already see the results, and we haven't even started construction. Once we start construction over the next couple of months, definitely this is gonna increase a lot, right? Aside of the 400 jobs, there's gonna be multiple opportunities for for different entrepreneurs to start businesses that are gonna end up servicing our project. And that's going to continuously grow as we build the project and as we become operational. So we're very happy with that. The community is super happy with it and looking forward for this because they need it, right? I've been spending a lot of time and this project is really going to have an impact on the community, and that's what we're aiming and that's what we're looking for.
Really amazing. Of course, you have as something, an operational plan, hire locals first. And so while, of course, many will travel to Exuma to be able to get in on the Rosewood project and have an opportunity there, the Rosewood Exuma project, of course, teamed with the Integra Group, is looking to hire and bring on locals first. Also job training to get those persons sufficiently skilled in managerial positions and other opportunities that will be available on the property is another, just another highlight. And of course, spin-off opportunities, business opportunities that will mushroom from this initial project. This is really amazing. Tell us a bit, though, Felipe, about the Integra Group that is Miami-based and that is coming there that's already in Exuma, helping make this project happen.
Correct. Integra Group, basically, we have a vision for to create the new ultra-luxury destination. We decided to invest hundreds of millions of dollars in Exuma because we believe it's a unique location with the proximity to the U.S. and with the pristine waters of the Exuma, I think it cannot get better than that, right? We think that by bringing top brands to the Exuma, we're going to not only elevate the brand of Bahamas, but elevate the brand of the Exuma, and also have an impact, a project that is going to be impactful for the community. So we're very excited with it. Our vision goes beyond the project we're doing. We intend to stay in the Exuma for the next decades and keep creating jobs, keep working closely with the community, keep helping the community. We just were last week there. We deliver over 145 medical supplies to the Black Point Clinic. We deliver a state-of-the-art kids park for the school. We do see that this project is for the future generations, and we are making sure that we're close to them, understanding their needs, and we're going to do everything as possible to make sure that this community is part of the project. The only way to have a successful project is if you start with the community first, and then you build from there. And that's the Integra approach, and I think that's going to be the success of this project.
Felipe, I want to congratulate you for doing something that's amazing that we don't often hear out the gate with a project that's the size of yours or even the boutique ones. And that is you are already empowering the community and communities of Exuma, whether it's Black Point and whether it's mainland and all the other things that you're doing to help make life better for them. To show that, listen, Rosewood is here and Rosewood intends on partnering with the residents of neighboring keys and the mainland to help bring about a different quality of life and a different level. That is something I want to congratulate you on. It's something we talk about pretty often. Yeah, it's good to have you all come in and make the great investments that'll help with the economy of the island, for example. But now you're helping improve lives and lives of students in schools and other entities around you on Exuma. That's really awesome.
Thank you. And something that also gets me very excited is that I do see a lot of people coming back to Exuma, to live in Exuma. Now they're going to have a chance to not only work in the Exuma, but also live there. So I think that this project also is going to reunite families, and that's something that excites me a lot.
Good news as well, because Bahamians kind of have to sometimes move and relocate to find employment opportunities, and there you are creating something that not just employing people, but also the spin-off opportunities that are happening even now. Do you have a final comment?
Yes, I want to make sure and reassure the Bahamians that we are a company that is going to do a responsible project. We've been working very closely with DEP and the local agencies in the Bahamas, which we're very thankful for their support, but also with their professionalism. And that this project is going to really be transformational. But as being transformational, also is going to be responsible with the environment. And we will go beyond the norm, beyond the standards. And that's the reason that we decided to go with Rosewood, which is a brand that will command that and also has an ethos of sense of place. So we're going to respect the culture, embrace the culture, and embrace the heritage, all the way from the design to the entire aspects of the project. What Rosewood does with a sense of place is basically keeps the roots of the project to the location, and that's something that excites me a lot, and that's the reason that I think that this project is going to be really special for the Exuma.
I think it absolutely will be. Exuma is the ideal location with such a beautiful backdrop and environment. I imagine it's going to be quite beautiful and stunning to see. Looking forward to catching up more with you, Felipe. Thank you very much. This is Felipe, I'm looking for your last name, but thank you. The CEO of the Integra Group out of Miami, teaming up there with the Rosewood brand to bring Rosewood to Exuma. You all know that brand. It's an amazing brand, very high-end luxury brand. And so, hey, Exuma, another wonderful project on tap for Exuma. Thank you once again, Felipe McLean, thank you very much. We're going to take a break and come back with some opinions and hot topics after this break. Stay close.
work hard to provide for and protect the ones you love. However, life can present unexpected challenges. Who you call in times of need matters. Insurance Management is a Bahamian-owned company that has been serving our community for over 40 years, offering a wide range of coverage for all of your personal, professional, and commercial needs. When life happens, rest easy knowing that our skilled and experienced agents are there for you in your time of need, so that you can get back to what matters most. Insurance Management. Nobody does it better.
The internet isn't just for surfing. There's a sea of shoppers buying online, and you can connect with them on Tingsy. Tingsy is the SBDC's online storefront built for Bahamians. Take your business to the next level by selling to customers online, both at home and around the world. People want Bahamian things, and if you got things to sell, sell on Tingsy. Find out how you can connect with a sea of buyers by visiting tingsybahamas.com.
Need a new car for your business? Well, EV Motors and the Bahamas Development Bank have some news for you.
At the Bahamas Development Bank, we are committed to promoting Bahamian businesses and entrepreneurs. With our green lending program, businesses are able to access up to 100% financing to purchase electric vehicles for commercial and fleet use. We are so excited to partner with EV Motors for this initiative to encourage and empower business owners to drive green.
If you haven't visited our dealership on Tonic Williams Starling Highway as yet, we have a wide variety of brand new EVs from some of your favorite brands like Toyota, BYD, and Mercedes-Benz. As the official distributor of Kerry commercial vehicles, we offer a selection of high-performance commercial EVs. Currently, you can purchase the Kerry Cargo Van and the Kerry Elephant Truck, and soon flatbeds and box trucks for all your business needs.
To access up to 100% financing to purchase an EV for your business, you will need to provide us with a few documents: the business plan or executive summary, business license, historical financials, relevant KYC documents, and the vehicle and insurance quote.
With an interest rate of 6.75% and a repayment period of up to 8 years, you don't want to miss this fantastic opportunity.
To apply, visit our website today at bahamasdevelopmentbank.com or give us a call at 702-5700.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?
If you enjoy watching Beyond the Headlines, take advantage of our exclusive offers with 4 15-minute interview segments at $1,200 and 20 30-second TV ads at $2,000. Contact 557-0258 or 557-0259 for more information. Go beyond with Beyond the Headlines.
On the space then. Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you continue join us this evening. We're going to jump right in. Of course, you see it's been loaded already, and certainly, of course, for the first time, seeing the pieces of debris from that explosion a couple of weeks ago of the SpaceX project, Elon Musk's project. And of course, we had the scientists here in the Top of Tonight show talking about the fact that, listen, there's no real need for worry or concern. Well, that certainly made a difference, because we've all been kind of guessing and making statements and throwing stuff out there really since the explosion took place. And so it was good to have Dr. Murray and Dr. Neely here this evening. But hey, my Hot Topics panelists are here. and they are ready to jump in and give some opinion and thoughts on that and other news stories. And so we're going to welcome them this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines, Ellington Ferguson and Garth Roseborough. Gentlemen, good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good night.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas. Certainly it's a pleasure to be here once again.
Good night again.
So listen, gentlemen, let's talk about what you heard the scientists say in the persons of Dr. Murray and Dr. Neely about that, because you all know just last week you heard Senator Raming talk about the fact that, listen, the government is keeping secrets. This is dangerous. This is, we're not being told everything. But this evening, how did what they say, and they were very slow in speaking. They didn't try speed it up and run, and they were very intentional and well presented. Your thoughts about the information they shared this evening?
I think it was some wonderful information, Shanique, for the Bahamian people to digest, and to that they were able to come and be transparent and be open and kind of share clearly what this is all about, and share whatever dangers there were or dangers that do not exist. I think we need to understand. They made us to clearly understand everything that goes into these things, all of the FAA and everybody that's involved with these things prior to anything happening, and the safety measures that are put in place to mitigate against dangers and all this type of stuff. And so I think it's some wonderful information that they have been able to share, and I'm happy that they came out to do it. I think going forward, I would love to see government be more with the Bahamian people, kind of set up like a press conference with people like this, okay, and kind of allow them to give these type of information to the people in front of all of these things when we're doing it, so it will kill all of the rumors, all of the unnecessary lies. And when Bahamian people are something, when they don't know.
No, but people in general, because they did allow the narrative to just run
exactly
unchecked. Huh?
And when people don't know, they will create their own narrative, true or false. And so that I have seen a lot of that happening. I've seen people saying some crazy things, but in the absence of truth, anything can be said out there and put out there and it brings fear, strike fear to the other masses of the Bahamian people.
Well, I just want to thank Beyond the Headlines for bringing that particular guest on. It brought much credibility, seeing that he was born in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. He was raised here in New Providence. He attended a noted school, St. John's College. He also attended our very own university here, mm-hmm. which is now the University of the Bahamas, formerly College of the Bahamas. The way he broke it down in mm-hmm. scientific terms in the common man's language,
yes.
I think that was extraordinary.
Yeah.
The fact that he has no affiliation with SpaceX, but he understands the industry, also brings much merit to this conversation.
Absolutely.
Here's where your gap exists. Your gap exists because the average Bahamian is not understanding as to what is actually happening in this particular industry. We've not been brought up to the educational par mm-hmm. in order for us to even appreciate what is now happening. No disrespect to Senator Reuben Raming, but you must understand that there is a gap educationally when it comes to these particular advancements in the global world. And so now that we are exposing ourselves to it, I just want to encourage Shanique, the education system in the Bahamas, pull up your socks, pull up your pants, just fasten your bra, and let's move forward.
Well, Garth, you said that, and I'll tell you what Dr. Murray said. He's interested in not just being the Bahamian who operates overseas, whether it's Europe or the United States. He actually wants to create relationships with University of the Bahamas to get Bahamian engineers and space engineers, aerospace engineers, practicing right here, learning here, studying here. Also, particularly with now what's happening with Elon Musk programs, to be able to take advantage of some of that here and just sort of have our own thing, our own industry going because of that. Mm-hmm. And so you're right. I mean, there's where the education starts. I really hope that perhaps he has more conversations. He's been meeting with government officials for the last 2 weeks because of what took place and lending his expertise. Perhaps that can translate into something else.
See, and God spoke into the education component of it. I think as we look, we must understand that to an extent, we are already involved in the benefit of these things. When you understand we always doing the Google thing and all the computer chips and the phones that we enjoy, all of these things are part of these programs that they put in space with all of these satellites that connects us globally and all this type of stuff. Why not get in on this that is affecting our lives already and get in on the game? And I think that is wonderful. We should look to educate our people and transform the Bahamas. He speaks about the opportunity that we can transform the Bahamas and use our geographical location to our benefit. But again, people must understand it. There must be education. And I'm happy that Dr. Murray is talking about partnering with College of the Bahamas and us doing things right here.
Yeah, very important. Well, gentlemen, let's move forward quickly because, you know, this segment tends to just fly by. There was an opinion piece, an op-ed, I believe, in one of the dailies just yesterday, and it was tossed about and shared and everything, and people had their own opinions about it, that the FNM is basically, in my words, best suited without Dr. Hubert Minnis on its ticket in 2026. Your thoughts about that? I mean, I thought, we don't know. We saw a lunch happening last week, and we figured that, you know, they were making amends and making up and all that. But your thoughts about that thought? Now, we don't know who the author is. I don't recall seeing who it was written by, and if I did, I guess it escaped me. But your thoughts about that and the fact that there is a thought that the FNM is best suited to have him run because he perhaps is one of the more popular, hardworking, more successful members of parliament who actually has served his constituency.
Shanique, Dr. Minnis is a strong, vibrant member of parliament, young man, Bahamian. That advice, in my opinion, is ill-advised. Here is what you're going to do. Dr. Minnis is yet still very strong in Kalani. That's a whole constituency all by itself. Then you have Dr. Minnis, regardless to what happened during his tenure in office, some rugged times, Dr. Minnis is yet still very popular within the Free National Movement. So you're looking and you're talking about disenfranchising a whole community of voters. Forget possibly losing one constituency. You're disenfranchising a large community of voters within the Free National Movement. I'm talking about members of the Free National Movement, noted card-carrying members. Can Mr. Pintard afford to take that chance? That is the big question. Whether he want to take that chance up, I don't think it will work in the best favor of the Free National Movement. And so for them to just seek to just push him on the side and move on without him at this point, while he's still prepared to run and to be very active in the Free National Movement, I think is ill-advised.
Well, you're looking at a situation where they're practicing petty politics. It boils down to just simple that. Pettiness. Pettiness will cost the Free National Movement this upcoming election. They're very petty. And I'm not saying this to attack the Free National Movement, but it's what you're now simply exemplifying to the total Bahamian mass.
So Garth, you think that letter to the editor is somehow reflected on the FNM being petty? And it actually reads, FNM should move forward without Minnis.
Well, if they're going to move forward without Minnis, it's just pettiness. It's still pettiness. Either which way you cut this cake right now, it's just petty. All the delays that are now happening in the Free National Movement is just because of this one particular person, Hubert Alexander Minnis. When are we going to get over Minnis? It takes you 3.5 going on 4 years to get over Minnis. That's what you're trying to tell us as the Bahamian people. So when you're now confronted with issues in our country, is it going to take you 4 or 5 years to get over other issues that are even much more important to the Bahamian people? You're petty. I mean, I'm not, for God's sake, help me. I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to wake you folks up. You people are depending on a horse that has only 2 legs. It's not going to work. You need to get up, find your 4 legs, and you need to move forward. We need a stallion. We need a savior. We need a messiah. We need someone who's going to take us to the next level. It's not happening right now with the Free National Movement. In their minds, they're saying to us, they're okay. They're feeling okay. But to us, you're simply failing.
What the Free National Movement really need is a unifier. I would have hoped that by now, Mr. Pintard would have come into his own and would have been able to unify the party. You don't need to be creating a fight in a constituency that is secured. You don't need to dividing the votes, first of all, within that constituency and by extension within the party. This is time for unification. If you're going to be able to successfully go up against the Progressive Liberal Party, you must be unified as a party. You must be together.
That's not going to happen.
And this is not unifying.
It's not going to happen.
You don't have any hopes for that?
It's not going to happen.
Who would not unify if they know they have a goal ahead of them?
They're missing the goal. They're caught up on personalities. They're not caught up on the whole entire culture of victory. When you want to win, you do all that's in your might to win. You use your enemy become your bosom friend in order to beat the other enemy. Listen to me. Michael Pintard, you're trying. Dr. Dwayne Sands, you're trying. Shannon Cartwright, you're absent. It's not a winning formula.
What you mean, Shannon? What you mean, Shannon?
Listen, it is very apparent to me that the Free National Movement has a muzzle on the mouths of people who will want to support them.
Wow.
Let's talk about the God and the Jesus that many of you serve. Jesus Christ had a ministry of 3.5 years, Shanique Miller. He had 12 disciples, one was a traitor. But out of the 11 disciples that later became 70 disciples, these people testified of this one man, and that story has now gone on for 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Michael C. Pintard, you cannot talk for yourself. You cannot talk about your party. Dr. Dwayne Sands, you cannot talk for your party. You need people to talk for your party. Show me your people. Now, the PLP.
But don't you think Dr. Sands' position is different than the leaders? Dr. Sands is the mouthpiece of the Free National Movement.
Dr. Sands is a doctor. He's not a mouthpiece. He never will be a mouthpiece. He's not the Aaron for Moses. He's the person looking for manna, and he's looking for quail like all other children of Israel. Let me just be straight, Ms. Shanique Miller. With all due respect to you, you're looking lovely tonight, by the way. I wish I could reach over and touch you, but God bless you. You're looking good. You look like you come from space. But anyhow.
She touched it. Don't forget, she touched the panels.
She touched the garment, right?
I about to go wash my hand as soon as I finish. You have no idea.
But with all due respect, Dr. Sands had a wonderful interview the other day. We listened to him. You sound good, but you're not touching the hearts of the Bahamian people. What the PLP has done, and done very well, is they have attracted most of the media personalities in this country to tell the story. I'm asking you again, where is your media presence? If you feel you have one, I'm saying to you tonight, you have absolutely none.
Wait a mic.
Drop.
Listen, let's move on, because Garth, you just come loaded tonight. I didn't quite.
I just want to be truthful.
What you ought to do sometimes is
I just want to be honest.
Stand the host.
No one's paying me to say this.
Well, I would hope not, because I tell you. But listen, let's just move forward. And all the opinions of the panelists are their own. So therefore, it's nothing rehearsed, nothing here rehearsed or planned. But let's move forward. But
I hope I'm helpful.
Plain speaking, that's what it is.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is. Well, it better be. Now, gentlemen, the Minister of National Security led this debate in the House this week. The amended defense bill, or the amending to the defense bill 2025 was passed, and that is really sort of to address the shortages in the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. Is something that has been an issue now for a while, particularly the Royal Bahamas Defense Force. We know that the police force has lessened as well, or decreased in numbers, but the Defense Force, in fact, I do recall last year with the Commodore being here and stating as much, and the fact that, listen, they are losing men and women. Well, this bill was passed because some of them, they could be early 50s, mid-50s, but if it's been 30 years, they must retire. Well, what this new bill is saying now, listen, let the people work until 60, and perhaps even, and 60 is young nowadays, especially if you're healthy and in shape. Why not if you want to work beyond that? However, though, Dr. Minnis, I'm not saying he's speaking for the opposition, I'm not sure which other member responded to this as well, but certainly in the papers he's being quoted, and he is saying, listen, hold up. The government is trying to pad the Defense Force and rehire officers and do all that stuff and clog the system by having this bill, this amended bill put in place, the 2025 version. Gentlemen, your thoughts about that? About how he took the amending to the bill and the provision?
I think that is a mere political statement that anyone almost in opposition would say. I almost believe if the Progressive Liberal Party was in opposition, they might have said that. Because the FNM themselves have hired people when they were in office. Here's the crux of the matter. We are a nation of just under 400,000 people, okay? You joined the forces when you were 19. 30 years later, what you are, 45 thereabouts, okay, or 50. So at that age, that's a strong young man. So here's the dilemma. You pushing these people into retirement, and we have a crisis today with young men and women that are able to qualify to pass the test for the Defense Force. They are on drugs from grade 9 and 8.
Man from junior high, that's junior high.
You see what I'm saying? Grade 9 and 8, they're already on drugs. Or they basically, the time as they reach high school, their lips and their hair are the same color.
And they can't even spell Defense Force. Imagine fill out the application.
It's creating a challenge with finding, and you hear employers today, normally talk about finding suitable employee. And people come out of school and they're crying about what they're making, but they don't apply themselves in school. And so we come out, the Defense Force have struggles. The police force probably going overboard, because I know when I first came out of school, some of the criteria that they had to join the police force, I passed all my exam, but I was a little too short. I couldn't join it. Now they're taking a guy, must be a feet high, because it's short on finding people. Okay, and so we got to be careful of discarding people who are still yet strong. We're going to change and adjust our policies.
I am not a proponent of figuring get the older person out the door for the younger person. Many younger person will run every defense force boat there is underground or aground. That's what it's called, aground. Garth, quickly in 2 seconds.
You have to remember that the Royal Bahamas Defense Force was established March 31st in, I think it was 1980. That's quite some time ago. We were attacked by Cuba that same year around May of that same year, May 10th. And then we had, 19 people attacked on a boat. We lost 4, so I want to give respect to Shanique Miller, to the families of those 4 seamen that we have lost. And up until this date, you're telling me today that you have to return some of those same people from the Flamingo to serve us today?
Not the Flamingo. Obviously,
they are close to that retirement age.
You're exaggerating.
Today, if they were 20 years old, today they would be only 65.
Well, guess what? If who was able, let them come.
Absolutely.
Because I'll tell you, many of them want to be re-engaged now because they didn't plan properly financially.
What a testimony, Shanique Miller,
what a
for
testimony?
the advancement of our Royal Bahamas Defense. Have you haven't trained anybody in those 45 years?
Because who are they going to train? Tyrone? Think about it.
Listen, where there's a will, there's a way. And like SpaceX.
Where?
Like your previous guest said, we have to leave this country to get opportunities. Some of us are still sitting here.
He is a highly skilled gentleman whose expertise is totally above where the Bahamas is right now.
We are highly trainable people. There are many people in 40, 45 looking for a job.
Go talk to the Defense Force training officers and see if anybody interested in going and jumping in the ocean and swimming, and if they're doing that anymore, and if they could even get people to be respectful of what the armed forces should be.
I could go and train them for 3 months. I'll do the job. Give me that money. That money which you all paying, I need some of that.
If you're in good shape, Garth, if you are capable, go and join the Defense Force. Go and join the Defense Force.
I am the astronaut of the Bahamas.
Other than that, in fact, I'll tell you this: the Defense Force has the most in shape. I see 1 or 2 looking a little fluffy, but their officers are very in shape, and if they could work until they're 65. Whatever it is, bring them back.
I'm a boatman, I'm a seaman. My work is on the water.
This is Beyond the Headlines. I thank you all so much, of course, to our guests at the top of tonight's show, our scientists, and of course to Felipe McLean in Exuma at the Rosewood, and these 2 gentlemen right here this evening, Ellington Ferguson and Garth Rosborough. Thank you all very, very much. And I want to thank all of you this evening for tuning in. Certainly enjoyed having you along, and look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.